All right. So that is the quick crash course rundown of just the basics of painting. Obviously, there's far more complex things that we'll be covering later on. But a quick story. I was in a class at Art Center back when I was, I think it was fourth term, a digital painting class. And I already kind of had my chops in digital painting, so I thought I kind of knew everything. But what we did as an exercise kind of blew me away. Teacher kind of handed out all these candles and he lit them, and each table had a candle. We had our laptops for painting digitally. And he said, okay, you have 3 minutes, or no, it was 5 minutes. And what I want you to do is just paint it the best you can. I'm like, okay, well, I'm a pretty good painter. So I did an okay job. I was like, all right, pencils down or pens down. He said, okay, do it again. Oh, okay. All right, I see where we're going with this. For the next 5 minutes, we painted it again. And we did that up until 8 or 10 times on one big sheet. Without fail, for every single person, the 10th painting looked way better than the first. Hands down, guaranteed. Even if it's just a slight improvement, it's going to look better because you've gone through the iteration and you're more familiar with where the brush strokes are going to go. It becomes a smoother experience. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I divided this out into 8. And you don't have to do it in a time limit. You do it as quick or as slowly as you want. But I'd recommend not spending too much time on each one. Now, if you really want to, you could just take your drawing and put it on all 8 if you want, to kind of just speed up the painting process. But if you want to kind of learn other things, you could just start from scratch each time. All right, let the games begin. So underneath this line work, what I'm going to do is make a new layer. I'm going to just grab a different brush. It's going to fill that in. I'm going to be loose and fun about this. I don't really care too much about accuracy. In fact, you can kind of do a shortcut by just filling all this in with that value. And for a bit of a fun painterly effect, I'm going to add a bit of a orangish raw sienna, burnt umber, burnt sienna kind of color, because for traditional painting, that's typically what you start out with. If you have a white canvas, you want to put a wash of burnt sienna to kind of let colors pop out against it to go either darker or lighter. All right, so for each one of these, I'm gonna, let's actually turn off that reference. I'm gonna do a quick gradient downward from the tops because I know I'm gonna do that anyway. Okay, that's good enough for me. Let's bring the reference back. Okay, here, let the games begin. I'm just gonna squint my eyes, do a quick circle here, and we're going to lay in the shadow there, the shadow here, the shadow beneath that onto that wood area, and then we want that highlight. And notice how few brush strokes I'm doing this in. I'm not getting too detailed with a small brush, but it's okay to use your layers here, obviously. All right. So we just laid in all the information that we need, that we just need to blend in to kind of communicate that form and geometry of the apple. You know, all the information is there. It's looking good. Grab some of this, make it a little bit brighter up here, a little bit brighter up there. And I'm going to make that background darker. And just merge that down. And since it's all merged down, I can make a new layer, not a new layer. I can use the mixer brush and just blend that all together. Now let's use a bigger version of that. Let that be blended in. We don't need it to be sharp. Let's get the stem in there. Oh, first let's put the shadow of the stem. Okay, just a one stroke. This is indication. And honestly, I'd leave it at that and say move on to the next one.